Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is a man whose mushroom head is growing by the minute, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
Whoa. Listen, this is a PG show, buddy. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. It's like that cauliflower thing. It looked like a good look. That wasn't sexual at all. No. I think they
have a shot for that.
Yeah, I have that disease like Charles in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where everything he says is super sexual, but he doesn't get it. He's like, "What are you talking about?" We're the butt bros. What are you talking about? We both have great butts. I don't get it. Good to see you, sir. Of course, I mentioned the mushroom heads because of our fondness for The Last of Us, which is a show that returned last night on HBO. Season 2 premiere that's on the brain. For this episode, we will also cover a 5-pack of movies. The Amateur Drop Warfare Minecraft. That's right. It happened for me anyway. And the Ballad of Wallis Island. We will do quick hits on those 5 after we discuss the biggest thing. Like, honestly, it's amazing the numbers they pull for this show. Like, everybody talks about how big White Lotus is. And from what I understand, Last of Us season 2 premiere doubled it or more. So if you want to talk about the cultural footprint of The Last of Us, I've heard, in the same way Minecraft, the game itself is selling more because of the movie, which is weird. It's been around for so long that you wouldn't think so. I would think Last of Us Part 2, whatever they called it. Is that what they call it? Just Last of Us 2?
Yeah, they called it Part 2. Yep.
Would probably start selling like hotcakes again too, for the people who just can't fucking wait. You know what I mean? I'm starting to feel the FOMO because, all right, bring me back, Shane, because it's been a while since we talked about this show. You played the game, right? So correct. You also played 2, correct?
I did not play 2.
Okay, but
that's where I stopped after the first. Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're just waiting for certain shoes to drop in this season. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Now, even for a person like myself who did not play the game and tried to stay away from knowing as much as I could, the internet / social media sucks because they just want to ruin things for people all the time. Even just the casting of Caitlin Dever, that seemed to take over big time because she's going to play a pivotal role in this season, or at least going forward. Right now, and in fact, people told me, buckle up, buddy, because this premiere might just ruin your day. There were those people out there as well. But now that we're back, the premiere episode, like I said, aired last night. We are recording on Monday. The episode, entitled Future Days, sees us coming back to the world of Joel and Ellie 5 years now after Salt Lake City, the hospital, the finale of season 1. They're back in Wyoming, where Joel's brother lives and operates the town in some fashion. Obviously, they have a whole council, but he's part of the people who run the place. We are now seeing Ellie at 19 years old being a little at odds with Joel, stemming what we can only assume is not hearing the whole story about what happened in Salt Lake City, and that kind of festering over time, with the lies, the omissions, whatever you want to call it, just piling up, it seems, in this. Also, she's just a 19-year-old girl. So, a young woman just trying to find her own way in this post-apocalyptic zombie world that they live in. But obviously they're doing quite well. We're sitting here in Jackson Hole again. The community's thriving. They're getting a lot of people. They're almost too big at this point and running out of, places to put people, supplies, etc. Now, we also get to see new people here. we have a new kind of best friend / love interest with Dina for Ellie, played by our favorite Dora the Explorer.
The Explorer, yeah.
Isabella Merced, who I will constantly reference. It's totally unfair. It's absolutely unfair. I've seen her in multiple things. I can reference so many other things with her. However, she will always be Dora the Explorer. And like I mentioned, Caitlin Dever playing Abby Anderson, who's kind of on the peripheral at the moment, but obviously they showed what is to come with the rest of this season. So we will obviously see a lot more from her and her group. Danny Ramirez, isn't he Falcon?
Yeah.
So he's in this show too, but I didn't recognize him.
I didn't see him in the episode. If he was in the episode, I didn't see him.
He's Manny Alvarez. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't remember him at all.
Yeah. And Robert John Burke, who I also like from White Collar, Person of Interest, Law and Order stuff before RoboCop 3, where he was the new RoboCop in RoboCop 3. So we got a lot of people I like, and including, I wanted to save for last, Catherine O'Hara, who I believe, I don't want to throw this out there. I was surprised because another thing I looked up today, 71 years old. And
wow.
And she is still killing it. She's in every genre, like every franchise, every major thing, obviously forever, obviously being in Beetlejuice way back and then back again for Beetlejuice recently. But, the post Schitt's Creek era, she's just everywhere. And, she does a lot of voice work. She does everything. But she's now settled in here as the local psychiatrist for the group, and now going head to head, as it were, with Joel and trying to figure out his life and see what he's keeping from her, essentially, and obviously the rest of the group. So, Shane, as you're like the person who's been more involved in this world, you really like this show. What did you think of the premiere now that this is back in our lives? And also, for bonus points, that extra reel at the end that showed what's in the weeks to come. How did you feel about that as well?
Great. All around great, man. Like, what a way to kick off the season. Again, to be back in this world, it just, it feels so good. It's just, this show reminded me, because it's been, 2 years since the first season?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So I had to refamiliarize myself with it and watch little recaps and stuff like that. But no, it's great. I mean, Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. No,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, mm-hmm. Bella Ramsey. I got that right. Holy moly. Okay. Yeah, they just work so well together. I mean, just in this, I just felt back. So I kept saying to myself, "Oh, that's just sad Joel. We get sad Joel all episode.
Yeah.
Just sitting on the porch, strumming his guitar, being sad Joel." Just trying to be like that father figure. And like you said, the 19-year-old just pushing him away. And, Catherine O'Hara said it best when it's like, she's a 19-year-old girl who dislikes her father right now. That's normal. Listen, I'm getting that at the age of 14.
Sure.
So, I got 5 years to go before I hit that.
Right.
But no, I love the opening scene where she's training. I love that whole sequence with her, with that big mountain of a guy. I thought that was funny.
Sure.
And it sets up the dynamic, and her and her best friend, Dora the Explorer. I like them too. Yeah. That scene where they go into the grocery store is great when they're trying to recon.
Yeah. With the new stalker.
I can tell though.
Zombie.
Yeah. She's which was cool, which is obviously a big part of this episode. But it was an episode that kind of set everything in the motion. So, I mean, it is kind of a slower burn, but again, I was fine just exploring the relationships where everyone's at. The stuff Joel's kind of harboring. Now, that scene with Catherine O'Hara, though, this must have happened off screen, because I don't remember Eugene at all.
Her husband?
Do you remember that from? Yeah, do you remember that from the first season?
And that's why I guess if I had one critique of this episode is, while it was a premiere, I did somehow feel like I was in the middle of something.
We missed. Yeah, we missed some stuff, right? So that was the one part that threw me off, because I literally stopped the show and I'm like, I don't remember him doing that, but it must have been happening in the 5 years since they've been at that ranch or that town.
Well, she said it was her first birthday without him. So if it only happened the year before and we missed 5 years. So yeah, absolutely.
Right. Cause we already get some the way Joel's kind of thinking, like when they want him to fix up the town quicker, and he's like, I'm going as quick as I can. He's like, you can't let everyone in.
Yeah.
That was a pivotal scene, I thought, because she was like, you were once a refugee as well.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, it just does a lot of good groundwork for what's to come this episode. I will say, though, Ellie, man, I was kind of hoping that she'd get hers this episode because she does not listen for shit to anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's going to get her coming up and here pretty soon. So,
and if she didn't have her special gifts, she would have.
Right. And again, I don't want to like go heavy spoilers with people, but yeah, so you get some intense scenes in here, but it's a lot of character building. It's a lot of relationship mending. It's just like peeking behind the curtain and seeing where we're at 5 years later. So, and obviously it ends with Abby reaching the town and that look that she gives the camera when they've arrived. Cause you know, shit's about to hit the head here.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it, man. Just again, the production, just everything about this show clicks, man. And I'm not surprised it doubled White Lotus because again, it has the video game backing, and you know, a very popular, well done video game backing that just in the first season and the replaying the first video game just got more people hyped up to view this. So I'm all aboard, man. Part of me loves this model, but again, we go back and forth. I just wish I just want to watch the show all at once. I want to take the work off the next day and just watch 8 hours of The Last of Us if I could.
Yeah.
I hate how we have to space this out. But so far, HBO, well done, my friends. Well done.
I just like having it back in that sense. And I don't know if we said this as much because we were so concerned with the first season, I think, that we weren't just going to go, well, this is just Walking Dead all over again. Here we go.
Right.
But in the positive sense of that sentiment, I want to say that it's nice to have a Sunday night show that everybody's kind of digesting 1 week at a time. So as long as nobody who played the game or whatever wants to like ruin things for people, because again, this show does a good job of actually pulling scenes directly out of the video game. Oh. And I noticed there was a nice side-by-side that I caught today that was the dance with Dina and that guy stepping in and using a homophobic slur and Joel stepping in and that whole thing that was directly out of the video game. So I'm very impressed that they can manage to do basically satisfy both audiences, that you could be like, listen, we did this like straight on the same camera angle, same thing, like ripped it right out for certain things, and then also can add layers and make it more cinematic or make the characters have a lot more depth, et cetera, honor both sides of the equation. So that impresses me still to this day. But I agree with your sentiment that this is a slow burn. It's throat clearing while also adding characters and also kind of setting the tone. I want to say this to you because when I first saw the Stalker, I thought that Stalker zombie looked familiar, and I know that sounds stupid. However,
no, I thought so too. And go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm looking at IMDb. They have listed as Stalker Rebecca Ferguson.
Really?
Like the Rebecca Ferguson.
Get out of here.
I shit you not. So from like Dune and Mission Impossible and all these other things, now is a stalker in this world. So I don't know if she will continue to be and that her face is going to be more prominent for that, or that it'll develop language or do whatever it's going to do so that makes it more reasonable that some star would play it. But, again, things I don't know, but things I am definitely looking forward to if that's the case. Now, in the upcoming stuff, we saw a lot of stars in there as well. Did you want to, talk on that? I love seeing our Commissioner Gordon.
That was a big one for me, seeing Jeffrey Wright. Yeah.
So did you see a few things that popped out to you, or were you just engaged in obviously it's a lot of action in that?
It's a lot of action. I was just engaging. I really want to go back and kind of take it in for a second time where I can just look at things specifically. I was just kind of looking at the broader picture of what was going to go on. But a lot, it's again, like you said, it's action heavy. It looks action heavy anyway. And so that should satisfy.
It almost looks like a different show because it's this high arsenal stuff. It's a full out war. So it It looks more akin to like that one town that was full of zombies when they set up the kind of the trap or whatever with all the, you remember that from
Yep.
from Melanie Linsky's character that time.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. It looks like a very different show, but I'm for it. And obviously there's going to be a full scale thing. If the things that I'm slowly piecing together actually happen, then, oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of like emotional and physical baggage that will come from that and then escalate to full out war. So.
Right. And I saw like the headlines like you did. And I am avoiding clicking on anything because I know they said they do go different path than the game. So they do change aspects of the show. And I don't want to know what they change. Sure. So I'm avoiding, and it's easy for me. If you know me, it's easy for me to avoid the internet. I'm rarely on there. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to take this all in and not be like, oh my God, I can't believe I read this or this spoiled this for me. So I want to be fresh.
Did you feel like you engaged with certain people today? Like a lot of people who were like, did you catch this last night? Like, is the buzz real in your own world as well as like just knowing what the numbers are?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm the character that excites me the most is the relationship with the Joel and Catherine O'Hara's character. I want to see where that goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was probably more excited about her addition to this show or this episode more than anyone else I saw. Yeah. So yeah, I'm all for it, brother.
Right. All right. Definitely a good start. Like you said, and what we have to look forward to in terms of that clip reel that they had the upcoming weeks one, I think that's going to get people fired up. I don't have really much in terms of like negative stuff. Like I said, like there were certain things where I was just like, okay, this feels a little maybe like shoehorn forced a little in, but who cares? Like the show has a great pace, and I think they know exactly what they're doing because the proof of concept from last season. So I'm not worried at all. Let's get into some movies, Shane.
Let's do it.
We caught a bunch of stuff this weekend because, as we noted last week, I'm still very much upset about this movie schedule, where it seems like, why did 3 or 4 movies that I wanted to see all come out this weekend when they could have, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? We were like, we have nothing, right?
Right.
Or even counter programming to Minecraft the week before. Like, I just don't understand. Like, did the amateur get scared off by a working man? Like, what are we doing? Like, and drop, I know I think had their premiere at South by Southwest, so they wanted to obviously do something after that. But, I don't know. It just seems like there could have been.
Listen, man, Jason Statham's a scary guy. We all know this.
It's true. Yeah. And the Beekeeper was proof. I mean, like, it did so well. The one thing I did catch that did catch my ear, my eye, whatever you want to call it, I heard on a podcast and I didn't think, like, as soon as he said it, I was like, wow, I wish that was the feeling I had. And I wanted to hear it from somebody else who's like in the business. But have you kind of noticed that because February is now this like block for horror because they want to be around Valentine's Day for that, and then just the fact that it's that kind of atmosphere. So now February tends to get better movies. So now it's not dumpuary of that anymore. Like January will still be mediocre to bad. February now is this kind of like prime position. And now March, outside of usually like one blockbuster film, like Dune 2 was last year or what have you, or Minecraft this year, the rest of the month now seems to be throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. Yeah. Like it's not like we're excited to talk about the movies that are on our slate today. But at the same time, I feel like they are movies that, it's like they're not any much of a safer risk as far as like putting it out there and hoping for the best with box office. There's no guarantees. And as seen by the returns, by the way, of what these movies were. Does that sit right with you?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So February's become that nice block of like almost like a primer for getting us ready for, like I said, Halloween horror movies, keep it in a periphery. And horror, we discussed it many times. It makes money. They make money. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
And we even got a Marvel film this year in February. So
did we though? Did we?
I blacked out. I forget.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Danny Ramirez. But let's start with what we caught this weekend. A lot of stuff out, as we noted up top. Let's start with The Amateur. This is Rami Malek being a star, which is not often the case. And outside of, say, Bohemian Rhapsody, which he is an Oscar award-winning actor, so that does count for something in this town, this business of ours. So it's an impressive cast, with a lot of people I like. Rachel Brosnahan, Holt McElhaney, and my man, we'll get to him, Lawrence Fishburne, just like turning back the clock, I thought, in this one, being this kind of a colonel that trains him, but also becomes like the person who's tracking him down, but also kind of propping him up. It's an interesting dynamic, and I really liked it for him. I thought he was a standout in this movie. What did you think, buddy? This is a spy thriller. This is usually my catnip. I enjoy this. Everyone's probably seen this trailer 47 times, but we can get into it, where essentially it's a straightforward, almost like revenge story of sorts, but I liked some of the nuance in the middle that we'll also get to. But basically, it's Rami Malek works for the CIA. He's a coder. He works in decoding special encrypted messages, info for them, and he has his wife, played by Rachel Brosnahan. She goes overseas to London. There's a fallout to a setup deal that goes wrong where they take hostages, and she's unfortunately a casualty in that. And once he is aware of this situation, he then does his own digging, tries to circumvent his bosses because they don't want to give him training. They don't want to send him out there. They don't want him to really be involved at all. And then he now, after getting training from Lawrence Fishburne, goes out and tries to give his own version of justice on that. So what did you think of The Amateur, especially with Rami Malek being the lead of something which hasn't happened in a while and doesn't really happen all too often?
In simplest terms, this was a very enjoyable movie.
Right.
I thought Rami Malek was great in the lead because he fit the role of what he was playing.
Yeah.
They even mentioned like you couldn't beat a 90-year-old nun in an arm wrestling contest.
Yeah, he's a very thin man. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out. Like he played that coder to perfection. And even in his methods going forward, like when he was training Lawrence Fishburne, which I agree, he was like the standout of the movie once he got on screen, and especially with Rami Malek. He was that whole scene at the range where like he had to be basically in front of the target to hit it. Yeah. I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, he found the one niche that he was good at, which was like making the bombs and the devices and all that we got to see throughout the movie. Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to, like the scene where Lawrence Fishburne like tracks him down and he comes out of the bathroom, that whole scene is like, well, I'm practicing what I'm good at,
Sure. Yeah.
You taught me this too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just thought it was great. And a little cameo by my man John Berthnell in this movie was funny too. Like the whole scene where he thought he was going to eat lunch with him, ask him to lunch, and he's like, "Nah, can you just fix my computer, bro?"
Yeah,
like that was great. But I will say, I thought the scene with Lawrence Fishburne, with Julianne Nicholson, is that
Julianne Nicholson?
Julianne Nicholson,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nicholson sends in the CIA guy. I really thought Berthnell was going to I thought he was going to be involved in this movie towards the end, third act, a little more than he was, even though he did get that appearance when they were in Russia.
Right.
Or wherever they were. But I really thought he was going to be the one that the CIA sent in to intercept Lawrence Fishburne, which, man, I would have gone nuts if that was the case.
Yeah, for sure.
But we didn't. He was only in there for the 2 scenes he was in there, which was fine. But no, I like the flashback, stuff with his wife and the relationship that they had and everything. It was a very enjoyable movie that I found very few faults with. Could the action scenes been a little cleaner? Maybe. Was it as actiony as you might think based on the trailer? Not really. Like you had your action pieces, but it was a lot of him setting up, him doing surveillance, him like methodically taking out his targets. Like that whole pollen thing, I thought that was a great scene.
Right.
With the chick on the butt. It was great. The pool scene. I mean, everything was great. I really enjoyed this movie throughout. Like, I can nitpick it, but I'm not going to. It just was a nice afternoon at the movie theater.
Yeah.
And again, I like this role for him, so I want to see more. And I want to see more Lawrence Fishburne doing this kind of stuff, man. Like you said, it was like a throwback. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm done.
No, and I would think that these type of movies are the type, while this one is mostly straightforward, enjoyable, and it's not going to blow you away, but it is something that you're just like, didn't we just used to make a bunch of these? Like, why is this feel almost rare? You know what I mean? And I know it sounds a little silly following Black Bag, but it does feel weird that we don't see these more often, like scattered throughout the year. Like, why isn't there another one of these? You know, like 2 or 3 of these a year.
You know, a different movie, but the movie that I got the most vibes of when I was watching this was Enemy of the State. That's the first movie I thought of when I was watching this movie. And like you're right, in that time frame that movie came out, we had tons of those movies, and they were fine. Like Enemy of the State's a good movie.
Yeah.
And this is just a good old-fashioned, enjoyable time in the theater, man. And they should just do more of these.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we had, 5 Bourne movies?
Yeah,
so
5.
We did have kind of a version of this play out for a while, even just in that franchise. But I felt at the times that this had Bourne on the brain. Like, it definitely had that, because especially when they get into like the surveillance and trying to move around in various cities and doing it in like a low-key way. Obviously, I think that's what struck me about the movie, is that Malik, for how good he is as an actor, he's just not a star. And I know it sounds obnoxious, especially when he was an Oscar winner as the lead of a movie and took on a big meaty role with that. But generally speaking, in a movie like this, I like that they made the ensemble good enough to kind of raise the efforts here around him, because he isn't Bourne. He isn't Matt Damon. And that's what I had on the brain too. And I understand like there's not going to be any action stuff, or at least not a lot. There's like some,
right,
and it's mostly caught by surprise and mostly not to his favor, which is accurate and good. I'm glad that they didn't do like, oh, well, he had like some training and now he is going to be Jason Bourne. I've seen that in other movies where I go, get the fuck out of here. So at least they did this right. I didn't feel like there were a lot of missteps. It just felt like it kind of went about its business. It had a few peak moments. And I thought they did the Brosnahan kind of the echoes of the grief and the whole thing done pretty well. But, you know, again, the movie made almost $15 million domestically. And Black Bag, I think, made like, what, 9? Like, or something. Like, it's just so silly.
Something like that.
You know, like, why? Like, Fassbender, Cate Blanchett, like all these like big time people, like Pierce Brosnan, like what the fuck? Like, why? Is it because they showed this trailer 8,000 times? Is it just that simple? Or is it like, I don't know, because Black Bag is a much better movie and a much better story, or a more nuanced story, and it's in the same genre, and yet here we are.
Yeah, I think it's the way they marketed this movie, the trailer exposure it got. I agree with you. Like, Black Bag is the better movie in my opinion.
Yeah. Like,
this may be more popcorny and enjoyable, but I like the character-driven movie that the Black Bag was.
Sure.
But, you know, again, in this trailer for the amateur, you get the action pieces, and that's what the trailer is. The thing is high-paced, like Bourne-ish, like you said, and more people are probably prone to that than a movie that they don't know what they're going to get, because it didn't show any action stuff in the Black Bag trailer. It was just like, that's part of it, maybe. I don't know.
I guess, but again, like,
I know what you mean. People
we all love
the
revenge.
Boat, man.
I don't know, because maybe it bends more away from, this is not a spy. This is just a revenge thriller of sorts with a spy background. Yep. And it's a little more, you know, it's funny because you can say in one way that this movie is very straightforward, but then there was also at times where I, like, my brain, like my eyes just glazed over because they were doing like rhetoric either on an IT computer sense or a high level CIA sense that I was just like, I don't know what you just said, but I could follow it. I could follow the movie. Like, there's nothing there. But I was like, did you just throw that to make yourself feel better, screenwriter? Because like, we don't need all this.
Yep.
The one thing I do want to shout out, and I'm curious if you had the same thought. I thought the best part for me was when he met up with his chat friend.
I'm glad you.
Yeah.
I was just looking her up because that was probably my favorite part too.
Yeah,
that whole relationship with them two, and them working well, like they were working together when they went back to her place. That whole scene was just great, and it was sad. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Like it was. I'm glad you brought that up because I was looking at that to bring that up. So
it's a genuine connection because it's like it's not only like kind of like a spy out in the cold thing, but it's also the grief of recent loss and not knowing how to move forward and knowing that the revenge isn't going to satisfy you, and that kind of that desperation and anxiety where just wanting to like embrace each other, where it's almost asexual but it's a connection thing.
Right.
It's very interesting, and I liked it a lot, and I thought they had good chemistry that really sold it.
yeah, I agree because when she said, "I just want to lay with you," like that's it. Like, I just want to lay next to a person.
Yeah,
she
just wanted a good night's sleep before she might die.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great scene. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it was endearing. What do you got for a score before we move on?
Oh man, you're making me go first.
Well, I'll tell you right now. IMDb has a 6.7 and a 51 Metascore, so it's getting very middling. And I think I'll let you off the hook. I think it's a straight 3. I think it's a good quality 3.
Okay, well, I'm glad you went first because I'm giving it a 3.5.
You have been slightly higher than me about everything. I think this whole year,
a little bit,
and I feel you on that because I get because I stopped doing the cheat code stuff and I try to make myself go there. If you told me this had a 3.25 or whatever, I wouldn't be angry. But somehow 3.5 seemed to bridge too far. But like, especially because. Not to get all the nerd stuff out, but like, yeah, I'm looking at my list of all the movies I've watched this year. I kind of see where it lands, and it kind of lands with like the better 3s and not yet 3.5s.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not going to falter for that.
Yeah.
But I just, like I said, I just had a really good time watching this movie. So
yeah, I really enjoyed Novocaine and gave that a 3. Like it is an enjoyable score. Like it doesn't have like 3.5 and higher tends to like almost land in our like top 20, 25 of the year if that usually happens. So that's where I can't imagine that by the end of this year that this movie will be brought up again. But that doesn't mean it's not good or watchable. Next up, I have Drop, which I saw. You were not able to check this out over the weekend. It came in 5th on the weekend. Again, close. Like basically it went Minecraft again, which only lost 51% of its audience. And we'll get to that movie in a minute. But King of Kings, that animated, Jesus. And again, I know we're bumping up into Easter and all that. So of course it's a perfect timing kind of a thing, but almost 20 million opening domestic. So that's impressive. I wonder if people also because you've seen this trailer, did you also just go like, wow, there's a lot of good voice people, and they kind of like backdoored it with like, hey, this is Charles Dickens, so it's like right, okay, whatever, that's cool. But yeah, so that made a bunch of money, so good on them. Amateur, like I said, made it's almost 15 million domestic in its opening weekend. Warfare, which we'll get to after this one, came in 4th, 8.3, and Drop made 7.3. And I gotta say, I thought going into the weekend, if I was a betting man, I thought Drop was gonna be 2 or 3 in this list.
I would have thought the same thing too.
I'm glad you said that, so I don't feel like a crazy person. But this is essentially a mystery thriller, whodunit type movie. I felt like, especially once it got to the restaurant, which is the date which everybody sees in the trailer, especially between the camera work and the expansive restaurant, open floor plan, like this very it's huge glass windows as we see this lavish place that's, I believe, 50 floors up. So obviously a very tall building. I was like, this restaurant seems quite reasonable and like sort of fancy, but I'm like, wow, 50 floors? That's like, what is this building? So there's that. And it's in Chicago, so maybe there is a famous building with all this that I'm unaware of, but sure. But basically the movie, if you haven't seen it, this is directed by Christopher Landon, who we mentioned. He was a co-writer on Heart Eyes. I think that's why we talked about him recently. Yep. And he, of course, did the Happy Death Day movies as well. This film is about a widowed mother's first date in years that takes a terrifying turn when she's bombarded with anonymous threatening messages on her phone during their upscale dinner, leaving her questioning if her charming date is behind the harassment. And I think that is when this movie is at its best. Like when the messages start and then persist during the date, and then trying to kind of figure things out. What does this person want? Why is this happening? All those type of things. The quote unquote whodunit part of it was really well done. I felt the tension. I was into the characters. There were some that were like so annoying. Their waiter was an improv actor and made it known. So if you want some of that energy in your face quite a bit, there's that. But yeah, there's a lot of like, you're just looking at everyone just going, who could this be? Right. And I think, like I said, that's where it does its best work. The performances are good. I just think the movie is probably on the same. I have a lot of same feelings as Amateur, where I go, this is like a good addition in the genre. I would recommend people to watch it. I enjoyed myself for the most part. But it just doesn't elevate enough to be like, this is like some top tier stuff that's going to go through the moon. I'm in that 3.5 nebulous zone with this one as well. I feel like it just the payoff of the said whodunit didn't feel as satisfying. And so the way it ends, you don't feel like that kind of satisfaction. But I can see a possibility for if it makes enough money, apparently is now a thing, that there could be another and they can keep doing this. But
okay,
I feel like, especially for something that's such a personal story with her situation, because it's a lot more intense than the trailer lets on. I'll say that. So
okay.
So definitely I would recommend watching it. I think the scores are around what I was saying.
They were higher than I thought it was going to be. When you told me, I think you told me what the scores were, and I was like, really? Because when I saw the trailer, and I'm glad, I'm going to go Friday because I have Friday off of work, but until your review, until I saw the scores, I wasn't going to go see this movie because I was like, the trailer did nothing for me.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, yeah. And usually this movie's like right up my alley.
Right.
But like for some reason, the trailer did nothing for me. I think maybe it was the clip of her like sliding out of the glass building and almost dropping 50 floors. I'm like, get that, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but no, based on what you just said and the scores, I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this thing a shot.
Yeah, I think when I originally sent you, it was like I was going ham on Rotten Tomato scores. And yeah. I think the consensus, or what I gathered from that, is that critically people at least admired this movie a little bit more than The Amateur. But I think the audience score was slightly higher for The Amateur than this movie. So take that for what it's worth. I think they're both on a similar level of like, I really like the genre. I like to play the game. Let's roll it out. Let's do it. And again, both very watchable movies that are probably in that same like nebulous zone between 3 and 3.5. So I think they're kind of, but again, for this time of year, at this point in the movie year, that might land you in the top 10 of released movies for the year.
Yeah.
So, and I believe, if not around the same or better, was Warfare, which you can speak on. This is co-directed by Alex Garland, who were always, it's like we either love it or it's like a bunch of issues where we're just kind of staring at it going, what was that again? Like, what was happening? So, this one piqued my interest. I know this one you had mixed feelings on too about going, because I believe you said like, oh, it kind of just gives you Black Hawk Down vibes. and it's like they're probably not going to be better than that. So kind of like what? Oh, not to say what's the point, but a little bit of like,
Right.
okay, it might be an update because it's later on. What year does this take place?
2006, I believe,
Right.
or 8, somewhere
So
in that
not
time frame.
crazy far past the Black Hawk Down period.
Correct.
So you might have been accurate, but like the authenticity of the story and hearing from the people, boots on the ground, the co-director was in a military unit that this is based on. So, and he's now a stuntman in the business, worked with Garland before. So this is something that I heard is like so authentic that it will like rip your soul out and make you a little sad watching it, or at least like you're not going to be skipping through the aisles on the way out. But how did you feel watching this, and especially as a person who was in the military as well?
Well, I was wrong. It had Black Hawk Down vibes, but I'm glad I went and saw this film. I'm glad this film exists.
Excellent.
It was quite the visceral experience in the theater. Like, I would recommend people have to go see this in the movie theater. It's all shot in one location. They're in the building. It's about this group of Navy SEAL people that they're in this building scoping out the jihad, and just stuff starts going crazy from there. It's an hour and a half, so it's a real tight movie. You have Will Poulter, your guy Cosmo Jarvis from Shogun.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, one of the main guys. Our boy Joseph Quinn, Finn Bennett, and Michael Gandolfini, who's making the rounds, man. Like,
yeah,
coming off with Daredevil.
Yeah.
This film has you on pins and needles from the opening scene. In the way the sound design is for this movie, I believe it's going to get nominated for an Oscar, because
interesting
sound is so essential when you're watching this movie. There's like moments of silence where you just see like expressions and stuff going on to these troops while they're trying to like get out of this building. And they use it so well. And there's other times where everything else is muted except for like something specific like they want you to hear.
Right.
And it's just the anguish of what's going on. It's the emotion. This film just had it all. Like, it was great. It's gruesome, right? In some spots. But really, at the end of the day, it's just this one singular mission and how these men come together and what they have to go through to get themselves out of this situation. It was just phenomenally done. Like, the cinematography, you're not going to find a better movie as far as like sound and cinematography this year.
Wow.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. This movie just had everything. And the acting was just, it was an ensemble cast, and they all just nailed their parts. That's why I'm thinking Oscars already. Not one of them had enough screen time where you're like, okay, well, he's going to be this. So it's not going to be that. But I can definitely see this coming up in awards season. It was gripping. It was tense filled. It was just like the camaraderie, like the stuff they showed you instances where they break each other's balls and what military guys do to each other in these situations. It just was so authentic, so well shot, and just a movie I'll probably see again at some point. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie. It's a 5 for me.
Wow.
It's a 5. This movie's a 5. I actually like this more than Black Hawk Down, and that was a great movie.
Sure.
But this is just a nice single shot on a single location with just these group of people, and that's it. And it was just, and at the end they give you like the real life members compared to like their actors, and they did a great job casting because they all kind of look like the soldiers are playing.
Yeah.
It showed like the main guy in this, who Cosmo Jarvis plays, kind of like at the end working with Alex Garland and talking to the actors and stuff. It just was so impactful, this movie. So I walked away honestly blown away more than I thought I would on this movie. And it is my only 5-star movie so far this year. It is the best movie of the year so far.
Wow. I am glad to hear that. So did it, obviously you loved it, but is there truth to the reaction of like that it will really just like the gravity it'll hit you?
Yes.
And that it's emotional. It's
everything rolled into one. Again, the way they played with the sound design in this movie, because there's a couple of scenes where they call in for like, I forgot what they call it, but not air support where they're dropping bombs. They just want like a flyby.
Right.
and just the sound of the plane coming in over their head was just so real, and just like the IEDs going off, and just everything was just so grounded, and just like I've never seen a movie shot like that before. Like it was phenomenal, man. Like it has everything you want in a movie.
Well, I mean, you're not alone. The scores are impressive. 7.9 IMDb, 76 Metascore. You're in the green there and much higher than the other ones we were talking here. So it is getting very well received. I think I sent you a pretty high score from the Rotten Tomatoes level as well. I hope this movie, if it's as good as you're saying, I mean, I hope that means that there will be legs. There'll be some word of mouth, that there'll be a veteran presence maybe to see this movie as well. Because I remember that was the vibe I felt, which it didn't correspond. I think I'd have to. Do you remember The Covenant making a lot of money? Because I don't.
It did not.
So, but I remember that when I saw it, it was filled with military veterans that you could see, like that they were obviously, like meaning that they were wearing either like some kind of fatigues or some kind of uniform stuff or stuff of that nature. Like you can see it and you can see the emotion from it too. Did you have any of that around you as well?
We did. There's like older, you could tell veterans in there, and just like it was the demographic skewed older than me for some reason. So you would think of a film about this period of time, you'd have gotten people younger than myself or my age, but it skewed a little older crowd. So but it was filled, and you could tell the military presence there. And I will say, a movie like this, there's no politics, because sometimes war movies get into like the minutiae of politics and all. This is none of that. It's just straightforward. This is what this movie is. This is what you're getting. There's no kind of BS built around this situation. It just, crazy good.
I love that it's 90 minutes and out too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you feel every minute of those. I mean, like in a good way. Yeah. Because you're just like in there for the ride, and you don't know what's coming. Like, you know it's coming. You just don't know when it's coming. And then it's like, shit, man. Like, so good.
Yeah. I'm glad. I want to see this. I will try to catch this weekend. We will be seeing Sinners, and we will be covering that.
Yes.
But there's not too much beyond that, I believe, as far as like something to catch. So I think that'll make for a nice, maybe Sunday afternoon to double up and go from there. Now, a movie that's not making that much money, even though my theater was reasonably well attended, but this I think just went wide recently, so it's starting to go wider and wider every week. The Ballad of Wallis Island. We mentioned this last week. It's a movie written and starring Tom Bazin and Tim Key, and obviously the big stars in here will be Carey Mulligan, who plays the opposite of Tom Bazin's Herb Maguire character. She plays Neil Mortimer. They were a folk rock duo, Mortimer and Maguire, that this particular eccentric lottery winner who lives on Wallis Island, this small little island. I believe they shot it in Wales, but it's supposed to be in the UK somewhere, like a private island in the UK. He lives alone on this remote island, tries to make his fantasies come true by getting his favorite musicians to perform at his home. So these people are drawn there with like this huge payday for a quote intimate showing that they're thinking, well, like 100 people, a couple hundred people, like whatever, and it's just him. So it's a very quirky comedy that has just the right amount of drama, quality music, and by the end of it, there are moments where you can get really emotional because the way this plays out, this so the silly parts, the really quirky parts, is the lottery winner character here, played by Tim Key, who, like I said, co-wrote it. He plays Charles, and part of the aspect of this is that not only did he really like their music and really wanted to and get these people back together because they are no longer together, this duo, but his wife has also recently passed, and she was actually like a super fan of the group. So it's got a lot of layers in terms of its emotionality. And you just see a lot of desperation, people trying to move on with their lives in different ways. Just a very small movie. You see mostly the same 4 or 5 people all the time. And it's got a little bit of like romance, but it's kind of just more built into the drama. And yeah, it's got a big payoff. I think it ends exceptionally well, which makes this movie a little bit, it's going to make you just well up. And in fact, I wanted to go ape shit on people in my theater because there's a song by this artist that isn't in the movie that's in the end credits, but it's important because the song is the Ballad of Wallis Island, and you want to hear what this guy created because it's his reflection of kind of what happened to him and where he's gonna go going forward. So literally it's like a part of the movie, which I was very happy with. And you brought up Oscars with Warfare. I hope this is up for best song because it actually makes sense in the movie, and it's like amazing that it's in the end credits. It's a good song and it matters. It matters to the movie. So when people are like walking out, I'm like, did you just hear him say this is literally the title of the fucking movie as a track playing? And like, this is important. Like, what are you doing? And they're just leaving. And I'm like, I wanted to throw things. I wanted to be like, you go sit down. You go sit. You're in punishment.
I'm telling you, I'm jealous you got to see this because we're talking off the top that like the way the movie schedule is, it's like movies I want to see, I don't want to see are still showing. A movie I want to see like this one, nowhere to be found here.
Yeah.
In any theater. And I even checked the AMC theaters like 30 minutes away. It's not even playing there.
Yeah. Yeah, this at least got like full day treatment. Like as opposed to when I tried to go see that Paul Walter Hauser movie, that Luckiest Man in the World or what have you. That literally like almost instantly had like one showing a day or whatever where it was like,
and it was 10:35 at night here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to 10:30. Okay.
It was either 10 a.m. and I woke up too late or whatever, or 10:30 at night and couldn't get to it. Bonkers. And a lot of it, and this is the issue. I don't want to get too distracted, but like this is the issue when movies like Minecraft play, because they're doing literally like 20 showings a day and they're at every single theater. It's so hard to squeeze all these movies in. So it's funny to hear like the theater owners and the studios just like complaining about like there's not enough volume, there's not enough movies, that there used to be way more volume in the pre-pandemic period and obviously more in the heights of like say 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, you just probably wouldn't get 20 showings of Minecraft. You'd get like 2 theaters, 3 theaters, full day freight, and that's it. And then that would make it last longer in the theaters because it would just keep going because they're like, it's sold out. I can't find it. And like you get that fever pitch, right? And now that's just not it. They're just like, we build for opening weekend. We're trying to just blow it all out. And then whatever happens after that is whatever. And so a movie like this, I'm glad at least it had some kind of an imprint, although it didn't make a lot of money. It made $722,000.
Shocker.
So,
no, I'm kidding. That's
unfortunately
about right.
While it may not be around you, it may be on PVOD in like a week or two. So,
and I'll definitely check it out.
If that's the case, absolutely check it out. It definitely got to me at times. It's very good in its sentimentality. I can also see someone going, hey, that guy, Charles, he is way too much for me as a personality, and I might leave because I can't handle him. There is that possibility too. But they all make sense, like as in like the puzzle pieces of how this goes. A guy who's not used to having anyone around, basically, living alone, living on a private island. He literally is just by himself all day since his wife passed. So yeah, he's gonna be an eccentric weirdo. So that's how these things happen. So, but the music's good, like I said. Everything's good. There's real chemistry and real volatility between the two musician leads. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's a 3.5.
Okay. Wow. I was expecting at least a 4 out of just what you said about
I will say, I don't know entirely what the disconnect was, but I wanted to love this movie. Because, again, I think it has like a 3.8 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So I'm not too far off. But I know people who are just like, they love this movie. And I think because it takes a while to get everybody to the island to get to the point, I think it's a slow burn that eventually just creeps up on you and all the puzzle pieces just lock in as the movie goes on. So I felt better about it as the movie went on, but I guess it it doesn't hit you with certain saccharine notes. It doesn't overemphasize one part of another, so it kind of just eases into you.
Right.
But it is a satisfying ending, and I did admire it. So, like I said, it's kind of in that, if I see it again, can I be talked up to a 4? Maybe. But when I was staring at what was, quote, ahead of it, in this year's rankings, I think I just had more of a visceral reaction to things like Black Bag or Companion or the like.
Right.
Or even Bridget Jones. I know how silly that sounds. But
no.
Again, because those characters have just lived with us for so long. But I feel like it's just in that next tier down. Which is, again, not an insult. It's probably a top 5 movie of the year.
Okay.
So I will say a very good movie. Minecraft. I did it.
It's all yours, buddy.
I survived. I mentioned to you a bunch of things. One, I survived. I did not have to get involved in any kind of altercations with people trying to do recorded meme crap with the chicken jockey or anything like that. I went to a 10 o'clock screening on a Saturday morning with my kids. And what I could say is I kind of felt like I don't have an association with Minecraft besides the fact that my son loves to watch people play Minecraft.
Don't get me started on that.
I know. Yeah. Let alone my local town just funded an esports arena for the high school kids for $1.1 million when we're struggling to make the budget and might close a middle school. It's weird. It's weird around here in these parts. But hey, if you're into it, go for it. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. However, seeing the movie, it is very goofy. And the one thing that if you are into, say, Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre, which is the same director for Minecraft, then you will kind of see the hints of I could definitely tell it was made by those guys. Because it's got that quirkiness to it, those weird side characters. There are full-on characters that like Danielle Brooks in here. She serves a very small purpose when it seems like she would have been a big part of the group. So that didn't fully work. There's a bunch of characters that just kind of fall off and don't exactly work, even though the young boy character that's kind of the co-lead with Jack Black and Jason Momoa and all the bigger names, his sister is kind of looking after him after their parents pass. So that, I thought there was going to be more family stuff built in, emotion stuff, and not so much. It's really not working. But again, is it hot garbage? Where you want to be I want to just, my skin is falling off my body and is trying to leave the theater while I'm still sitting there. It's not like that. And like I said, I avoided all the nonsense. So if the nonsense came in too, maybe that would also sour me on the movie. But I would say we've kind of had this conversation before with Electric State. It kind of feels like that same kind of thing where it's it's not probably geared at me. It's not going to altogether make the most sense, or it's not going to elevate some kind of property that's out there or whatever. It made sense. They did a good job of giving little nods to all the things that make up Minecraft, so they at least thought about it. And if you see it, I think there's it felt like Captain America, where it's 5 story by credits and 4 screenwriters credited. So, and they've been trying to get this off the ground for years. So glad they made money, and that's great. I feel bad for the people who work in those theaters where they have to clean up raw chicken and flying popcorn. And I heard actual alive chicken was like released at one of these things.
Yeah.
It's like insane. All for honestly a scene that I was like, really? For this? It's silly. It's just dumb.
It's not for us to get, Andrew.
No, which is fine. And again, I loved seeing it again. If I saw it by myself, I'd probably just be like, ho hum, whatever. But when you see like my son, who's 8 going on 9, and just like eating up the absurdity and like liking the little things and calling things out, and he was sitting next to a kid basically his own age who he didn't even know, and they were going back for him. Oh, you see that? The creeper. Oh, you see this? Oh, you see this? You see this? So again, I was in their world. I'm not going to go crazy. The movie is probably like a 2.5, whatever, bottom of the movie landscape in terms of critical stuff, but who gives a shit? It's going to make a bunch of money. Right. It's going to make an 8-year-old happy. And that's what this is. So when you have to actually make that venture, just know, unless you get into an altercation of physical violence, which, by the way, made me think about Wicked. Because remember how they had to make like the Wicked sing-along ones because people were pissed that people were singing? This is like that, where I just felt like, oh my God, is there going to just be people like shouting and talking and doing weird shit in my thing? That they should make ones for that, but that kind of takes away the spontaneity and, quote, fun of the chicken jockey idiots. Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I am going to have to like take the plunge, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So by then it'll be like, what, 3-4 weeks out now by that time? I will say this, and people already get a little nervous around me when I go to the theater with them, because if I'm the guy, if I hear too much stuff, I will tell them to shut it down in front of everybody.
I leave that to my girlfriend. It's a wonderful dynamic we have.
Because I'm just that person, like, whatever. If a raw chicken buzzes by me, I am going to lose it, and you'll hear about me on the news, because I will fight the entire movie theater.
Yeah.
I'll be like Kramer in that Seinfeld episode, just kicking 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds all around the theater.
Yeah.
I will lose my collective shit. So let's hope for our podcasting sake that I won't have to do this from like prison somewhere.
Right.
And have to like Skype in somewhere. But no, that's my only concern. But like you said, I plan on going to like a 10 a.m. showing where most people are probably sleeping. By then it's 4 weeks out. So I'm really hoping some of that just buzzes down a little bit. So
yeah. And shout out to Jennifer Coolidge, who gets the assignment in this movie as well. Everybody who's in it kind of gets like, we know where we are.
What they're making.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah. And I think
doing Shakespeare.
Yeah, the silliness of the Napoleon Dynamite Nacho Libre style stuff.
Yeah.
It endears you if you're into that stuff. So
right. I think it's Jared and whatever his brother's name is, Hess.
Yeah. So Jack Black is perfect in it because again, he's worked with them before, so you could tell the familiarity, People love him in this stuff now. He's now become the kids movie guy.
Yeah, he is.
Minecraft, Mario, House with the Clock in His Walls, Kung Fu Panda,
Jumanji.
Yeah, he's all of it. So he's now he's carved. It's so funny where I wanted, like, my daughter asked me, it's like, so Jack Black's like a singer? And I was like, yes. And I'm like, what? And in my brain is on fire going, what Tenacious D song can I play my, soon to be 11-year-old daughter that would be okay, that isn't just filled with fuck repeatedly over and over, or songs about fucking or whatever. So I think I played like The Metal from Pick a Destiny and tried to just go with that to be like, this is what he likes to do. But that one at least is not, quote, explicit. So I did my duty. I gave her a taste of the metal and went from there. So good job by you, man. We did a lot of heavy lifting this weekend. I want to hear your opinions on the new John Hamm Apple TV Plus show that also came out recently. That I hear excellent stuff critically from people, and I want to dive into that one. Apple TV Plus is on a heater, so I hope that continues. So we will do that soon, But next week, as we noted before, is going to be Sinners, the new Coogler movie with Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. So, always strange, but getting excellent. Was at 100% Rotten Tomatoes last I looked. So that's going to be excellent. We will also talk about the surprise Daredevil Born Again is only 9 episodes for this season. We'll have a second season to continue the story. So we will cover the, quote, season finale of Daredevil Born Again that just came out of nowhere to us that I found out
we're the
today.
only two who didn't get the memo, so
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listen to podcasts who do kind of recappy stuff. Nobody kind of felt like, yeah, well, you could see where it's kind of going as we get towards the finale. Like, no, that was never said until today when I was listening to one. I was like, what? What are you talking about? It's 18 episodes. Get out of here. But at least we don't have to keep talking about Daredevil until the 4th of July or whatever. So that is good. But yeah, good job by you as always. We will get back to those topics and more probably next week. Be sure to reach out, follow us on the socials, subscribe to this pod so you don't miss that conversation about Sinners, Daredevil, and more. And be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.
I thought for a second you want me to jump in there. I'm like, wait, does he want me to say something? Yeah. Let's go. No, that was good, man.